Hello and welcome back to episode 78, where we're going to look at a new manufacturer in the counterfeiting stakes, and that's Audix. Now, sadly, a friend of mine has sent me a couple of microphones that he was really pleased with because he thought they sounded quite good, and he got a really good deal. Now, the warning bells, of course, ring as soon as you get really good deals. And these microphones, which are Audix SCX1s, were a really good deal. I mean, they're a very expensive microphone, and he got two of them for under £70. Now, in my head, warning bells rang, and I mentioned, "Are you sure that they're real?" And so he sent them to me. And I could drag it out a bit, but they're not. He's bought a couple of fakes. So I thought it's probably worth just sharing what made me so certain that these are fakes. And oddly, it's got nothing to do with the sound. It's more to do with the physical appearance of not just the mic, but the mic and the packaging. So we're presented with a fairly nice box. And from what I do know about Audix microphones, which, being frank, is not very much because it's not a particularly common make here in the UK, they're a microphone very similar to the AKG 451s that I've got, where you can unscrew the capsule and you can put cardioid, hypercardioid or omni capsules on the end. It's a sort of pretty tried and tested design. A few other manufacturers do the same thing. And so having a microphone that can have its polar pattern changed is a pretty neat idea. And it does save you money in the long run. I've never really felt any need to buy these because I've got other microphones that do the same thing. But I thought, well, we'll have a look. So they arrived in the post. And very sadly, the first thing that I noticed was the label on the end of the box. It says the usual stuff, Audix SCX1, includes SCX1 microphone, pouch and mic clip. So yeah, that's fairly normal. And then I noticed it said, the mic designed and manufactured by Audix in the USA from domestic and foreign parts. They spelt foreign wrong. So whoever copied the Audix label, and Audix being an American firm, is hardly likely to spell foreign wrong. So that was the first clue. So as soon as I saw that, I thought, oh, it's not looking good. So on the other end of the box is the usual label with the barcode and the serial number. I thought, okay, so the serial number of this one ends in 8027. I picked up the other box, and guess what? The serial number of this one also ends in 8027. So these two microphones have got identical serial numbers, and they were both made on the 10th of February 2022, it says. So that's clue number 2, that all is not good. So anyway, being a complete beginner to Audix mics, I thought, well, okay, I'll start with sort of a superficial idea that they're counterfeit, and see if the stuff inside is better, or whether that too has got clues. When you open the box, you're presented with fairly conventional packing. It's not unusual. Conventional little foam windshield, and underneath this we have the microphone. Underneath the packing, we have a mic clamp. It's got Audix on the side. It's actually quite solid. I don't know the genuine Audix well enough to know if this is normal. It's quite a resilient clip, so I don't know. I'll have to look a bit closer at that and see what I think. And we have a leaflet, so let's have a look. There's no obvious signs of any spelling mistakes on this one, not that I can see at first sight. We have frequency response chart. We've got spec 40 Hz to 20k. Nothing very unusual on that one. We've got the polar patterns for the 3 different versions. This leaflet is well produced, it's decent quality paper, and it looks pretty good. I don't think I'd have a problem with that. So let's have a look at the microphone itself. Okay, so what do we got? We've got a small, fairly light. Now, I've looked online, and where on this one it says Audix SCX1, the current pictures on the Audix website show that lettering to be gold, but I have discovered older pictures where the lettering is grey, so that's not too bad, and the little wording at the bottom appears to be right as well. Now, if this is an Audix, which we know of course it's not, if we undo this, we have a removable capsule, and we don't. In actual fact, what have we got? We've actually got a little element at the end and a plastic housing. Oh, that unscrews. But it's wired, and rather sadly there's a lump of metal with a hole drilled through the middle which is providing weight. Now, I'm not sure. That's supposed to be brass, and brass is quite a heavy metal. That is not heavy, so the preamp holder so we have clearly an alloy tube with a lump of metal inside to give it some weight, an electric element on the end, and I've just noticed the end grill is silver, and on all the photographs I've seen the end grill is always gold. And oddly, on all the photographs that are taken from the side, you can actually see the gold grill because it's got a dome on the top. This hasn't, it's completely flat, and from the side it's invisible. So it's got the right number of slots in the right places, but that is an ordinary bog standard electric mic inside, very similar to dozens that I've seen on the market. So it's absolutely 100% not an Audix. So that just means we need to find out what it sounds like, doesn't it? So what do we have in shot? We've got the comparison mic that I always use, the Shure SM7B, the dynamic. And then we've got the Audix, or the so-called Audix, I suppose we should say. And then my favourite, the AKG C451, which is my go-to slim pencil type mic of choice. So now we've got the 3 microphones. And you are listening to me at the moment on the Shure SM7B, the one we always use as the comparison in all the videos. So let's first of all switch to the AKG C451. Sort of assuming the Audix was a real Audix, then I think the Audix and the 451 would be a good comparison. Similar sorts of price range and standards and things like that. So let's go to the 451. So now we're on the AKG C451, and it's fitted, don't forget, with the cardioid capsule, which on the AKG, of course, does unscrew and can be swapped for the other ones. The AKG has been about for a very long time. These are the original series, which have the interchangeable microphones. The current one, of course, has fixed pattern, but pretty much is the same microphone, same basic design concept. But the The one thing I hated on those microphones was the fact that the thread that's on the capsules is really fine, and if you're not careful you can put them on cross-threaded and wreck them. So then the next time you try and take it off, it's jammed up. So you see a lot of old 451s that the capsule is very reluctant to come off. Once you've damaged those threads, that's it, they've gone. So let's switch to the so-called Audix, the SCX1. Okay, we're on the Audix now. Now, I've deliberately done my usual thing, and I'm not monitoring what I'm recording. So the first time I get to find out how good or bad the microphone under test is when I listen to it. So I shall probably be just as shocked as you. I can make a few predictions. One of the comments I found on the web about the Audix SCX1 is that it's generally considered to be quite a warm sounding microphone, which is unusual for a condenser, but it's described as warm. My prophecy on this one, of course, is that it won't be warm at all. It'll be quite bright. There's probably a place for this microphone. You know, if you want a microphone of that type of sound, it'll probably do the job very well. It's just not an Audix. It looks like one, but superficially that's as far as it gets. Everything else is different. Different materials it's made from. The things that are missing, like the interchangeable capsule, that's gone. It's not made of brass, it's made out of some sort of lightweight alloy. I've had to stop the edit and re-record this because I switched in the edit suite to this microphone and discovered it wasn't a bright microphone at all. It was a fairly mellow sounding microphone. That sounds positive, but the amount of background noise was ridiculous. It's absolutely useless for recording anything whatsoever. It's rubbish. So I figured it's either a design that's bad or it's a faulty mic. So as I've got to, I'm going to swap it. So you're listening to me now on the dodgy version, and I'm just going to disconnect the cable and swap it for the other one. So there we are. There is the replacement. Any good? What do you reckon? This one better then? So it's really weird, isn't it? So we've got a dodgy microphone, and that just says quite a bit about quality control, doesn't it? So buy these ones and assume you're going to get a reasonable sound out of it, even for a modest amount of money. And clearly it's a bit of a gamble. Not something I can really sort of recommend, I think, really. I mean, 50% isn't really a good deal, is it, when it comes to buying two microphones? Anyway, at least we know. Well, that really wasn't very good. First time we've been disappointed like this, I think, in our sort of looking at Chinese microphone story. But this one, I think, definitely one to avoid. Bit sad, really. Anyway, look after yourselves. Take care, and I'll see you on the next video. Bye.